Hello everyone, this is Faith. Um, as you can clearly see, I'm back on the Wi-Fi. Alright. What happened after I cast the demons out of the Mandela Effect community was this giant mess. The demons that showed up at my doorstep had the gall to claim that Chanel sent them, even though, no, that was not reality. But I think you guys have already seen reality if you've seen my videos casting demons out of the community. My brother actually thought that I needed to believe them about Chanel sending them, even though that wasn't even close to the truth, But there have been several years where he would randomly tell me that I needed to talk to whatever random spirits happened to be in the house and didn't care for it when I chose not to. So, I mean, his opinion, it just, it matters very little. I do understand that my family got majorly influenced by these beings, and I temporarily did lose some access to the Wi-Fi as a result of that. It was blatant in my face that was what was happening. And with my brother going, oh no, we're just supposed to believe them when they say that Chanel sent them. Instead of the truth actually getting cared about in that discussion. Meh. I recognize the entities that showed up at my doorstep as the very ones that insisted on harassing Chanel and encouraged all of this lies and slander against her within the community as well. This is what they do. They falsely blame Chanel for stuff that she never did. And for some reason, people just believe what they say. I do not understand why. But I do know Chanel didn't do what. And it doesn't matter if everybody else wants to just blame Chanel for what happened. I know it's not her fault what occurred. The truth, the reality, is I sent away from the community several entities that were all bothering Chanel, encouraging lies, slander, and bearing false witness, and they showed up at my doorstep. And for whatever reason, were once again believed when they said this was all Chanel's fault. This is what these entities do. They blame Chanel for stuff she doesn't do, and people just, for whatever reason, choose to believe it. It doesn't make sense to me. It's not logical. But, anyway, the entities all ended up over in Tartarus. Because I just couldn't be bothered with letting them stick around. They lied to my family about why they were there. The reality is they were just mad at me. And I just somehow don't care. They lied. These entities are known liars. And if the community wants to believe lying entities that claim Chanel sent them when she never did, that's their own personal choice. But I do know that no matter how much you blame Chanel for stuff she didn't do, no matter how much you slander against her, no matter what, buying into the lies of these types of entities, I were willing to make sure I lived through a personalized version of hell for a day, just because I sent them away from the community. Isn't a wise decision. It's not. So instead of continuing together and just blindly believing whatever these entities have to say, why not actually begin questioning these entities? Why do they harass Chanel and rant in the way that they do? Why do they bother them so much? Why is it that when I cast them out of the community, they showed up at my doorstep and blamed Chanel for the fact that they were there, which was a lie? Oh, but technically, these entities wanted to bother Chanel some more, technically. So maybe they were there because of Chanel. Not because Chanel sent them, like they claimed, but because they wanted Chanel to be hurt even more than she already was. Oh, but I'm saying stuff in a very logical manner. As we all know, logic in this community is something that was thrown away a long time ago. You're not supposed to have any logic here. You're just supposed to throw away logic. You're supposed to protect your mess in every possible way. And if you actually show any signs of rejecting slander, you just don't love Jesus anymore, right? Anyway, that's all I'm saying here is you need to question the motives of the entities that are telling you that Chanel is this bad, evil person. You need to question the motives of those who may be manipulated by such entities. You need to question everything you're being told about Chanel. Don't just sit there and live in fear of rejecting slander against Chanel. Jesus wouldn't ask you to do that. Jesus asks us not to be fearful of anything. How many times in Scripture does it say, fear not, fear not, fear not? And yet, instead, what we're seeing in the community is let's spread around fear of all the changes in reality instead of trying to understand what is actually going on. And let's live in fear of the people that Jesus gave some answers on the Mandela effect to, instead of actually caring about what they might have to say. Let's be scared. Let's fear people who don't deserve, who haven't done anything wrong, and such stuff like that. Fear the changes in reality, fear the Bible changing, but it's like, are we even supposed to be living in all this fear anyway? This whole fearful mentality is, I just think it's just dragging the entire community down when God should be raising it up. And the whole fear thing just seems to be keeping everybody away from Jesus in general, from what I can see. We shouldn't be living in fear of the changes. We should be asking Jesus how to address all the changes in our reality. And we also shouldn't be living in fear of the prospect of getting kicked from the community for refusing to join in on all the slander against people either. Fearing if you are legitimately scared of what will happen to you because of the majority view of Chanel, even though she hasn't done anything bad, and you know that, I think. If you are just scared of not joining in on the slander because you're scared of getting kicked from the community, ask yourself, why are you scared of that? Why does it scare you to get kicked from a community, lose your reputation, etc., etc.? I mean, the entirety of the community is built on the premise that the truth of the Mandela effect should matter more than what everybody else has to say about it. So shouldn't the truth in regards to Chanel also matter more than what the entire community has to say about her? I get that joining in on the sin, slander, lies, bearing false witness, and gossip, that's more popular than the truth is. Lies, slander, bearing false witness, and in general, gossip, those generally are more popular than what the truth truly is. Just because something is popular doesn't make it right. We keep saying we have this love of the truth, but it's never shown to me. If you truly have a love of the truth, please step out into the open and tell the truth. Understand that lies were told. Call the lies out. Stop living in crippling fear of being kicked from the community because fear doesn't help anything. If you get kicked for telling the truth, you get kicked for telling the truth. That's just the way things are. But the truth that Jane and EYA lied about Chanel and Brandt over a live stream still needs to be sold, it still needs to be said, and if it offends them, then they need to come out and apologize instead of trying to justify their sins to you and everybody else. I will see everybody next time. Thank you for watching.